Deputy Speaker, I think it's the worst bit of legislation I've seen in 17 years. And fundamentally it's the worst bit of legislation because it is based, and with some competition, and it's based on an utterly bogus premise, which is that we are swamped by asylum seekers, when we are not. When you compare the UK to the 27 members of the European Union, we are 18th when it comes to the number of asylum cases that we grant. Last year, a heavy year for lots of reasons we know all about. 48,000 asylum cases in the UK, 96,000 in France, 127,000 in Germany. That reminds you that the problem we have is entirely a structural one of incompetence in the Home Office, not because we are, I quote, swamped. So let's look at Lord's Amendment 7, the right to work. Why are we not granting asylum seekers the right to work? It's right for integration, learning the language, the dignity of those people to support their family and to pay their way. There is a left-wing and a right-wing argument for saying yes to this. It's balmy to say no. Lord's Amendment 6, 2 tiers. This is the most appalling and repugnant part of this entire bill. Look, we have an asylum system, which I assume the government has confidence in which case you judge people on the merits of their asylum claim through the system, not through the utterly bogus and completely contrived and arbitrary notion of the means by which you got here. Remember, 89% of Iranian asylum seekers have their claims granted, 97% of Eritreans, 96% of Sudanese. None of those people have a legal route. The only way they can get here is by making dangerous journeys. So let's be very clear, this bill is a trafficker's charter. You vote for this bill, you are voting for deaths in the Channel, because you remove the right of anyone who's not Ukrainian, Afghan or Syrian to have a safe route here. And that is an outrage. And members opposite know that is the truth. Offshoring, so we've got the guarantee that it's not Ascension Island. So where is it? South Georgia? You know, the idea, people have already mentioned on all sides of the House now, that offshoring is ridiculous, it's like pantomime villain nonsense, and it is also inhumane and massively, massively expensive. People talk about the pull factor, for pity's sake. Has the government not worked out there is no dastardly, lunatic policy they could introduce that would protect this country from asylum seekers that rivals the fact that we're a flipping island surrounded by water, and people come here not because of the pull factor, but because of the push factor, because of the outrages they experience, that people here have no conscience, no sense of what it is like themselves, no experience themselves. Nonsense that people invent to try to push through what is the worst piece of legislation I've seen in 17 years. I want to say a moment about Ukraine and our offer to the refugees fleeing that appalling, murderous tyrant, Putin. And I'm just reminded this, there's lots to commend the fact that there is some kind of a scheme now. But let's remember this, it is laden with admin bureaucracy. I was talking to a friend of mine, a Kendall friend of mine, who is a Ukrainian by birth, whose friends have 2 7-month-old children, twins. They don't have passports, the kids. Therefore, the online application not open to them. There are admin bureaucracy. They've got to get themselves to the embassy in Warsaw. That's the only way they can get here. We are throwing up barrier after barrier after barrier. Why do people want to come here? Why don't they stay in the first place and all the rest of it? There are loads of reasons: cultural ties, Commonwealth, language. There's also the fact that we have a reputation. And it's a glorious reputation. People want to come to the United Kingdom because they know it's a place of tolerance, of liberty, where they can have religious tolerance, where they can earn a living, where they can raise a family in safety. And the simple fact is this: even this despicable bill will not undermine Britain's centuries-old reputation for being a place of sanctuary. Whatever this government does, it cannot sully our reputation that much, because this country's reputation history is glorious, and so is its future, despite this puny little government.